Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Vincent Hazenboom. How are you doing today, Vincent?
I'm good, Mark. And how are you?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day. It's Friday. Weather's great. So Vincent, so where are you located at?
Can you repeat it again?
Where's your location? Where are you located at?
I'm from the Netherlands.
Okay. Is that where you were raised, born and raised?
Yes, I am. I lived here for most of my life, but
Okay.
I also lived 1 year in Mexico. It was quite a journey.
So what took you to Mexico and what did you think of Mexico?
Well, the reason was I went there on vacation and I fell in love with Mexico. I was
Okay.
just mind blown how kind these people was, and also the
Really?
food is really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So I was there on vacation, and there was a Mexican guy, and he came up to me and he said, like, "Hey, Vincent, I, where you from?" And we started talking, and then I he made a proposal. He said,
Okay.
"Hey, I want to make this fast food restaurant. Are you interested to come to Mexico and do this with me?"
Wow.
And I was thinking about that, and I was like, "Sounds really interesting," because
Yeah.
I didn't have any job, and I saved a lot of money. So the opportunity was really cool for me to leave everything behind, leave everything behind,
Right.
and go to Mexico. So I saved a lot of money, and on 2017, on the 5th of December,
Okay.
I moved everything, or I sold all my stuff, and then I moved to Mexico to start my
Wow.
fast food restaurant with this guy.
Uh-huh.
And I saw everything in front of me. I saw my goal, my purpose. I
Right,
knew
right.
this is it. This is what I wanted to do. But I was such in denial. I was really, my ego was in the roof. I thought I
Ah,
knew it all.
okay.
I thought I was the best and all of
Right,
that.
right.
But life really showed me that I had to learn more, because
You can do
eventually,
that.
yeah, because eventually I got bankrupt because of bad
Oh,
situations. I lost from 30,000 euros, and
okay.
in the end I had only 300 euros left in the bank,
Oh, wow.
and it was really, really hard.
Yeah, that'd be
I
humbling.
didn't even realize it, that I was bankrupt. I was just laughing everything away. I didn't want to see it. I was only focused to making it work, but once
I
I
can
didn't
understand
have any
that.
money, it just
Yeah.
it just hit me.
Yeah.
I don't have any money, so I had to sell everything there again and
Uh-huh.
go back to the Netherlands. And it was hard because I didn't have any time to
Bet.
process it. So I got back to the Netherlands, and I need to start looking for a job, and I didn't have any time to heal. But it was
Right.
quite a journey, but a hard lesson.
Okay. So how did to today, how did you get over it? How did you heal? For somebody that's gone through something like that, how do you heal from something like that?
I was really on a spree of learning, because I've been really in the self development almost for 10 years now.
Okay.
So I kept on searching for answers. I was always looking, like, how can I prove? How can I change things?
Right.
But I was so much in pain, because also I had an ex-girlfriend there that I was really in love with, and I also had to break
Mm,
up with her because our relationship
wow.
was really toxic.
Wow.
So I had double the
You really
struggle,
did.
if I can say it like
Yeah,
that.
really.
But what for me was most painful was the breakup. The money I can make again, the company
True.
I can start another one, but the relationship, that really hurt me. That broke my heart.
I
But
see that.
I was so afraid to get into a new relationship that I blocked myself off. I
Oh, wow.
wanted to heal myself as much as I can before I
Sure.
wanted to date again. But I went overboard because I was protecting myself so much that I was not taking any more risk. I was not doing anything.
I can understand
So
that.
I started to really to learn more about myself, because eventually I put this mirror in front of myself
Mm-hmm.
and say, why did this happen? Why did
Right.
this
Right.
company break down? Why did I had so much problems with my ex-girlfriend? I didn't understand why. And I was, in the beginning, I was blaming her, I was blaming him. But later
Mm-hmm.
I looked at myself, and then I
Mm-hmm.
saw it like,
That it,
hey, it was my own fault. I
yep.
could have said no to him, even though I saw the red flags. I could have
True.
said to him like, "This is not gonna work," or
Yep.
"I'm gonna do something else." Once I still had the money, but I didn't. And also with
Yeah.
my ex girlfriend was the same. There was so many problems, there was so much drama, and
Mm-hmm.
even though I still wanted to be with her because of the sex and
Sure.
having fun with her,
Right.
but I stayed for the wrong reasons because I didn't love myself. I was always
Yeah.
going out of sight of myself. So that was my journey. Like, I have to learn to love myself again.
You
So that
do.
was the steps that I started to make first, to how can I love myself again? Again.
Yeah. 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 Because if you don't have love, you can't give something away that you don't have. So, and
Exactly.
that's, thanks for sharing that. I mean, that just, because I think a lot of people get to that point and it just, and how long did that process take for you? I know it's different for each one, but I mean, that can be a
It took me
lifetime
four,
process.
yeah, it is. But for me, it took 4 years for actually to
Okay.
heal myself
Uh-huh.
and really like say I'm enough. I didn't feel enough because also she was really toxic. So
Right.
I remember once I wanted to buy something, I heard her screaming at me, even though she wasn't here physically.
Oh, really? Wow.
She was. I still heard her screaming like, "No, don't buy that! No, don't do this!" So I was just like, "Oh shit! I
Yeah.
just need to. I cannot do this." But I was
Right.
so in this victim mode that
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't taking care of myself. So I had to learn to trust myself, trust
Yep.
my abilities, trust my
Yep.
decision making. So I had
Yeah.
to learn again. But there was a point that I've been really traumatized in my past, and also with my ex-girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
that I had to go to see a psychologist because I
Okay.
couldn't move forward. I had so much trauma stored inside my body that I couldn't function. If I wanted to walk up to a lady that I'm attracted to, my body was shutting down. I
Wow.
couldn't
Okay.
I couldn't walk up to her and say like, "Hey, how are you?" I was just shaking. I couldn't move.
Wow.
So I had to see somebody to help me. So I went through also a tough period of doing that as well, also with EMDR, that I really recommend doing.
Okay.
But it was such a hard process because I still had to learn to love myself, but also take action, really
Yeah.
take the risk of hearing no. And it was still is difficult, but yeah, that's something that yeah we have to learn. But I was always giving my power away.
Yep.
If I walk up to a woman and she said no, I feel awful. But why should I feel awful? I don't
Shouldn't.
even know her. She don't even know me.
Right.
So I was
Yeah.
always like giving away
Yeah.
my my value. So that's something
Yeah.
that I had to go inward and start to be and live with myself first before you, like you said, before I can give it to somebody else. But it was
You do.
really hard, especially if you have like a long life of trauma and pain and misery that I caused myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then do what you want to do. It's hard to make that change.
It is, but you did it, and I admire you for that because some people never get to that point. It can be a lifelong, but some people don't. They live in the trauma their whole life, and they're not able to do what you're doing now or catch their dreams or anything like that. So I admire you for that. So you're healed, and so or well as much as anybody. I think the healing process goes on your whole life from something. I think.
It goes on, yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing today after your healing process and everything you've been through?
I've been I've worked on when I was 16 years old. I started working from that age because school, I didn't feel like school was teaching me anything.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
always going to school, but I felt something is wrong, something is amiss. So I wanted to work at a young age. So that's what I do. I started to work from 16 years old, and I
Okay.
started to do welding, and
Oh
it's
wow.
I'm good at it.
Okay.
And what I've noticed, what they told me in school is like you're only good with your hands. So I believed that. So I
Sure.
believed that I only was good enough to be a worker. But
Oh,
as
so
my
fulfilling.
healing went on and my journey in understanding myself, I learned that I'm an empath. I learned that I'm highly sensitive. I
Right.
learned that I'm really good with creating things.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to learn also from my pain and from my journey, and also reflecting that I'm capable of so much more things.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a moment that was looking and thinking, do I really want to work for a boss again so many years? Because I
Right.
worked until 28, until I moved to Mexico and got bankrupt. I was 30. So
Okay.
I was thinking, well, what can I do now? I'm not going to work so many years again for somebody else.
Exactly.
So I started to looking and searching on the internet, like, what can I do now? How can I make money online? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. So I go on Google, I'll make money online. And then I started to go into e-commerce. And first
Okay.
I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is
Uh-huh.
interesting. I can make money online. But it wasn't really my thing. I wasn't really resonating with me. So I jumped off
Okay.
to that. I kept on searching.
Sure.
And one day I was in the train, and then I got a message from my higher self. And they gave me the message that I should be coaching. And that was
Okay.
interesting because I've been through a lot. I have a lot of
Right.
books that I read, courses. I've been really,
Right.
or I still like a self development junkie. So
Oh,
I've been
I
always
can relate with
learning.
that.
And that sounded more interesting. So I went to
Uh-huh.
looking for a life coach. But then once I did that, I felt miserable because I was not living the life that I want to live. I cannot be free because I have clients. I still be working in an office or home.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
then network marketing came on my path, and I felt
Okay.
this is it. This is exactly
Ye-
what I need to do. Do
Right.
network
Right. Good fit.
marketing. But then again, I felt miserable because
Really.
I would be talking only about one product. And this is not
Oh.
what I enjoy. I enjoy to talk about many, many things.
Just okay.
So then the podcasting came on my path.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And that was really interesting because this is exactly what I wanted to do, because I
I
really
hear you.
love to talk about things like what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
But also, again, I was in this dilemma. How can I balance them both if I do the network marketing or the podcasting? So I was
Mm-hmm.
really in a struggle. What should I do? Only the podcasting or only the network marketing?
Right. Right.
So then my coach, she said, why don't you do both?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to do podcasting. And then with the network marketing, I'm going to do it on the side
There you go.
with my website or whatever.
Right. Right.
So I was really in a closed off box. But once she told me you can like do more and
Mm-hmm.
really be creative,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this is the place that I need to be. So since then, after my healing journey, still healing, I've been doing podcasting now for 1 year, and it's the best decision that I made. It's really in my zone. It's really what I love
I
to
hear
do.
you.
I can connect with new people. I can learn from new people, and I
Yeah.
can share value to people that needed it. Because what I saw in my own journey
Exactly.
when I was younger, there was nobody there that could tell me like, hey, Vincent, you need to check out this book, or hey, Vincent, you need to talk to this person or go to this program. And now
Right.
it's here. It's accessible for everybody.
Yep.
So that's why I wanted to do it. And I see it with all these agendas and all these things that are happening in this world, this evil, this roaming this world.
Huh.
I
That's for
feel like
sure.
I wanted to do something. I wanted to make a change. I can sit behind my computer and do nothing, or I can do something with the knowledge that I've gained. And maybe I won't reach as many people as I like, but if just one people hear something that I have to say, they can change their life. That's the
Exactly.
best for me.
It is. It's that ripple. And you know how that and that one person, they may go out there and tell somebody what you told, and it's just and it's a beginning. I'm with you, man. That's why I like podcasting too. And with the evil that's going on in this world, it is. It's just well, you and I. If I hadn't been doing the podcast, I don't know if we'd even be talking. Or it probably wouldn't. All the people that you miss talking because you're not doing a podcast. So for the audience, what's the name of your podcast, and how often do you drop an episode?
My show. Well, first I want to say, or I want to tell the story about how the podcast is born,
Okay.
because it's really funny.
Okay.
Because once I saw a video about a guy, and he said like how the men and women dynamics are really being ripped out. It's really been
Yeah.
messed around.
Yes.
And from there, I felt it in my heart. I felt it in my heart that I do need to do something about it. So that's my first step.
Okay.
I struggled a lot my entire life with women and connecting with them. So I did also hire a coaches,
Okay.
but I
Which is
found a
good.
coach that really operates from the heart. So that's something that also connected with me. I want to bring more people back to the heart, because I was
Amen.
always felt disconnected from my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and I see people doing the same. So
Mm-hmm.
that was step 2.
Okay.
Step 3 was the name. How should I call my my podcast? And it
Right.
was
Right.
so difficult. What name should I give? I had weeks and weeks brainstorming and looking
Could
for
relate.
names, but it was so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I was brainstorming with my coach, and she said like, what do you like about the names and all these kinds of things? And I was talking about it with her, and then she asked me like, hey, do you have something in Dutch? And I told her, well, I have something in Dutch. It's called the Gouden Hart. It's the golden heart.
Okay.
And she's like, what?
Uh-huh.
The golden heart? And she's like, what? How to heart? I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the name. So our name was born from confusion. So that's what I really like.
Me too.
I looked at it. I felt it over and over in my heart, asking myself, is this the name? Is this the name? And every time I got a yes, so I knew right away this is the name. And it's perfect. It's perfect what I do, and also to connect people with the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it got born.
I love that a lot. And I like that. I mean, because so many people, I think men think, when you hit anything from your heart, you're kind of weak. It's just like, and really, it's if you're doing from your heart, and it can be men and women. I think you're really strong because of society. At least I don't know how it is in the Netherlands. United States, it's just like, well, you're kind of a wimpy man because you're using your heart to, and it's just like, yeah, you need to. The heart. It's all about heart. It's all about love. And that is what it's all about. And I think it takes a lot of strength to do that in today's world. And maybe always been. I just people get knocked when they live from their heart. That you're supposed to do the grind. And not be heart. You don't want to do anything from your heart. So we wouldn't want to do that. So I admire you for doing that and getting people back to their heart. Because that can only be so much better for yourself and the world. So, Vincent, I love it. I just love that. So,
thank you.
So,
I appreciate that.
How many episodes have you done so far?
I'm gonna reach my 25th episode, and I do it weekly. So I have a weekly episode, because if I do more, thank you. If I do more, I'm gonna be overloaded, and I cannot handle it, because I also have my full-time job. So I do 1 episode a week.
That's good. No, I think that's very good. And that's kind of why I started out. And that you kind of experiment too. I mean, year 3 here, and and I was doing different days, and I do, Monday and Friday when I drop now, but and I changed my name about quarter of the way through. So, so what's your other job that you do?
I weld. So I still do the welding.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's you could come over to the United States and come anywhere. I mean, they're looking for welders because nobody's doing it. It's just
it's worldwide. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. But you're good at that. You like doing that, evidently.
No, I don't like to do it, but I have to do it.
Okay. So what do you weld? What do you weld different things, or it's the same thing all the time, or?
It's usually the same things. It's different, but usually we do the same thing. So we build we call them the grijpers in Dutch, and what they do is, like in these ships, they dig out these coals with this jar, like.
Okay. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, for the coals, they grab it out and take it from the ship. So that's what
Okay, I know what you're talking
we
about.
built.
So I might ask you now. So, dream. What was your dream when you were a kid?
I I had two dreams. The first one, I
Okay.
wanted to be an F-16 pilot. That was really
Awesome.
something that I wanted to do, and I felt the amazement, just the rush of the machine, the fast, the speed, and the control. That was the first thing. The second thing, I was so obsessed with acting. I really
Really?
loved
Okay,
to
that's
be
cool.
the acting and the theater. That was something that I really enjoyed. But I've learned also about the transgender agenda,
Okay.
and there for me it changed everything. I stopped movie and my dream was gone. I was like, I don't
Hmm.
want to be part of it anymore.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching movies and I didn't want to be an actor. But still, I can be like a small production or something like that. But
True.
still, it doesn't feel right. So I rather
Yeah.
don't do it.
I
But
don't
that
blame you on
was
that.
those two things, and I've been a movie crazy freak. I was watching movies like every day, TV shows every day.
Okay.
But again, what is it for? I was not doing anything with my life back then. I was only
Yeah.
playing video games. I was only watching
Yep.
pornography.
Yep.
And for what? I was not
Yeah.
doing anything with my life. I had the potential to be successful
Yep.
and I didn't
Yep.
take it. It took me many, many years, trial and errors, for me to really come to the realization that I need to do it now. Because when you're young,
Amen.
you want to have fun and you want to do all kinds of things, but there's going to be a point in your life that you need to make a change because you
You
cannot
do.
be this child for the rest of your life and be
True.
playful. But also, what I see people neglect is their inner child. They're
Yeah.
not in balance with the playfulness. Also, when you see like older men playing with trains, people
Mm-hmm.
are laughing at them. Like,
They
why are you
are.
laughing at him?
Yep.
It's his passion. It's what he enjoys.
Exactly.
It's his
Yeah.
inner child. His
It
inner child is
is.
still in love with the trains,
Exactly.
and that's really sad because people are just neglecting that. And you see it, the
They are.
pain that the inner child, what's still inside of them, is
Mm-hmm.
still crying for attention and still wants to do the fun things. But when you grown man, like you said, you're not
Yep.
allowed because you need to be a full grown man. You're not allowed to be a
Yeah.
child. Like,
Yeah.
no.
No, you do, and I'm right with you. With you. I mean, I still I get called childlike quite a bit, and it's just like because I do I you know I trains is one of my like so, but I do a lot of things like that. It's just like, well, by your age you shouldn't be doing that. It's like, so who says? It's
Yeah,
just like I like doing those things, and I'm gonna continue doing those things. And what you say, I don't care. But some people, a lot of people, it's like, I better not do that. And I think that's important too, from your heart, and keep taking care of your inner child. For one thing,
absolutely.
it keeps you from, well, you, because some people get old really early. They're way ahead of with their chronological ages. They're way old. A lot of times it happens like about 20s. The 20s they go to work with something they don't like, and they just figure they got to do that until retirement. And I don't know how you retire, but do you guys retire in Netherlands, or do you have a, like we do in the United States, where you can retire in your 60s, or how does that work there?
No, here it's a lot higher. It's
Is
like
it higher?
60, 67.
Okay, okay. But everybody's like, they're looking forward to that, doing their some days that they wanted to do all along, that maybe their child. And it's like, some days don't always occur. Most of the time they don't occur. But, it's just like, I collect vintage Christmas. I have collected vintage Christmas for my whole life. My grandparents got me started on that, and it's a sickness, but I enjoy it. And people are like, a grown man doing that kind of thing. And it's like, yep. And I've been interviewed 3 times. I'm going to be interviewed at this next coming Christmas on TV. And but yeah, it is a very important. It's what makes life living, worth living. It is just. I'm so glad our paths crossed, Vincent. I can relate with you so much. Oh, so much. So okay, what you're doing now? What would you like to be doing in like 5 years, 5, 10 years down the line?
Really helping people. I feel like I want
Awesome.
to make a change because, like I said, there's so much evil in this world and there's so much
Yeah.
problems that is being caused by the hierarchy and the controllers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I want to do something to make a change. It doesn't have to be like big projects or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. But if I maybe give us village like water, better water quality, or fruits and
Cool.
vegetables, even though I don't have to charge them, and even though sometimes like what should you do? It's hard because giving away can also cause problems. People
They
can
can.
become aggressive, or they
Yep.
can kill people for free things. So
They
I need to
can.
find a way how to have a balance. I always looking for a balance in certain things. But for me, what I really want to do is traveling. So I want to work
Awesome.
remote, doing podcasting, and also with the network marketing. I'm also busy with that as well. So that's my first passion: really travel, having fun, dating women, all these
Hey, I
kinds of
think that sounds
things.
like a win-win-win all the way along there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So, oh, I love traveling. So you want to
But
be a
really,
digital nomad. So, what were you gonna say, Vincent?
digital nomad. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But really helping people as much as I can. I feel like that's why I'm here, even though I struggled a lot and had a lot of problems as an addict, like a porn addict, and
Mm-hmm.
addicted to other things, and really being confused in this world because of programming. Yeah,
Yep.
I can sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's not. But
Kind
it's
of one of those too. Yeah, I agree with you on that
but it
100%. Mm.
yeah, but it's
Mm.
we have to do something about it. We
We
can
do.
let evil roam the world and
Yep.
just look away and pretend nothing is happening, or we can do something about it. And I feel like
Amen. Amen.
I have to do something about it. If I can
Me too.
maybe influence somebody to make a change as well from within
Yep.
and from the heart, that's a step. I
It
cannot
is a big step.
change everybody by myself. It's a collective thing. Everybody, we need to do it
Yep.
together. We're
We
one
do.
as
We
one.
do.
So
Amen.
that's really my goal really with this podcast, but also looking for projects to support people in
Mm-hmm.
need. So that's my goal. And you never know how things are gonna go, but that's
True.
a vision that I have.
That's a great vision. That's an awesome vision. I hope I'm part of your vision too. I would love to work with you on something too. So, I mean,
Yeah, it would be good.
so over in Netherlands, are there a lot of homeless people in your country?
Well, maybe in Amsterdam, it's a big city, but for me, it's 2 hours away from it, so I'm not
Okay.
certain. The big
Okay.
cities, yeah, but
Okay.
where I live, it's not so much because people have their own jobs, their houses, so it's not it's not so big on the poverty. People are
Okay.
wealthy in a certain way.
Okay. Now, we're getting more all the time, and I'm not going to say why because I don't want to get into that part of the. I don't want to get into politics, but but cities are really getting bad. I mean, I was in New Orleans last year and San Diego. I mean, New Orleans, you couldn't even walk for all the homeless people, and the police were there and they were just being ignored. It's just like, how can you ignore these people? These people, I don't know how you get from being homeless to getting up to having a place to live again and having, something to do. I would think that would be a terribly tough jump to make. But we just, in this country, we seem to turn another eye or turn to look the other way, if I can say that. And in San Diego, they round up the homeless at night, acting like they're criminals. It's like these people aren't doing this on purpose. Most of them, they're all their possessions are in like a baby carriage, and it's just like there's so many things like that that I just. And I'm very rural. I'm in central part of the United States, and even here I'm seeing homeless people now. And one thing, we've had so much inflation, and it has been it's been a lot. I mean, a lot of these places are a couple $1,000s, a month. I don't know how that equates to euro, but it's a lot, and I don't know how you can do that just for rent. And the average house is like $468,000 now. It's just like, how can somebody get their first house? And that's where I
Hmm.
go. It's just like there's so many things in the that need to be addressed in this world that we look the other way, and nothing's being really truly done. And and we're in the United States. We're also so divided. It's the red or the blue. And it's always been that way. But I think it's more than it ever has been. And it's my way or we used to agree to disagree, and now it seems like it's my way or no way, and which is very bad. And so in the Netherlands, what is your government? I mean, democracy, probably.
Well, I'm not too much into politics because I don't really care, because they don't
I
care
would
about
gather
us,
that too. Uh-huh.
and also they're just puppets to the system. So
True. That is true.
I don't follow the system. Usually, I was really like, oh, so what the government tells us, that's what we need to do. But they
Yeah.
don't care about us. They only
No,
care about
they do
what is being
not.
told,
Yeah. Yep.
and they have a master that they need to follow orders from.
Yeah.
So I don't care about that. So that's
Awesome.
it's really simple, because if you stop listening to politics and take your own leadership and do what's important for you from the heart,
Yep. Yep.
they don't have any power,
They don't. They
because
lose
they
their power.
feed
Yep.
from us they feed from us from fear, the energy that we give to them. If we buy constantly on Amazon, you're supporting these corporations. If you go to
You
your local
are.
store and buy from them, the smaller
Yes.
stores,
Yes.
you're supporting them.
Mm-hmm.
But we giving so much power. It was also with Vanguard, BlackRock. We're giving so
Mm-hmm.
much power. But if we stop doing that, they don't have any power. But people don't tend to see it, and it's really
They
sad,
don't.
because I've been during the COVID hoax. I was so angry.
Yes.
I was so angry at
Me
people.
too.
Like, why are you not seeing this? What I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I learned it wasn't angry because I'm down of them. I was angry at myself because I failed myself. I didn't live the life that I wanted to live. I didn't do the things that I wanted to do. So I had to also go back and forgive myself first and take care of
Okay.
myself first, so before I can forgive other people.
True.
And then also I was in this phase that I wanted to wake people up, like, oh, I need to tell what's happening. But then I let go. I need to do what's important for me. I need to
Yep.
live my life.
You do.
And I don't follow orders from governments, from leaderships, from gurus. I do what's important for me. I learn what I can from them,
Yep.
but you will never see me follow their orders or follow Trump or whatever. They're all part of it. So why
Oh
should I
yeah,
follow them?
100%. Yeah.
The American dream. What's the
Yeah.
American dream? Destroy everything so America is great again?
Yeah.
You're only great when you live from within yourself, from
Yeah.
your heart. That's where the power is.
You
Not
want to come
just the
over?
government that wants to lead you
You
to
could be
war.
our president. I would love to have you come over. I mean,
No.
yeah, I wouldn't do it either. Oh no, and that's
No.
like so many people. They do. They listen to what the government said. They listen to what the news is, and it's like none of it. None of it's for your consumption only. And they're trying to, and fear, of course, they control you with
Yeah.
fear, and
It's predictive programming.
it is.
Every news company, they say the same thing.
They do.
Everyone says the same thing.
Mhm.
So they're just putting a program into in your mind. It's also when you watch movies, it's programming. Music, it's programming you. The
Oh yeah.
Simpsons, it's
Yep. Oh
programming
yeah.
you.
I
It's
get a
all
lot with the Simpsons. Yeah.
programming.
Yep.
Yeah, so I
No.
avoid those things as much as I can. Like I said, I don't watch movies. I don't listen to music because I don't want to be exposed. I don't want to be
Yep.
feeling awful because of something happened in the world. We
Yep.
can only stop it when we all say no and take action. But
We
if we're
do.
not doing anything and we're just looking away and say, well, this is not going to happen to me, something
Yeah.
is coming, and it's really, really bad. When
It
the
is.
social credit system is coming,
Mm-hmm.
people are going to be in depression. People are going to have suicide. It's going to go through the roof because
It
people are going
will.
to lose their freedom like this.
I
And
think
people
that's
don't
why.
see it yet.
I think that's why you and I and other people around the world are doing what we're doing. I think we're kind of an kind of God's army or an army, trying to wake people up if it's possible.
Yeah,
But it is. It's just because people. I don't have a television. I long ago gave
me
up
neither.
because it's just like there's nothing I want to watch anyway, but they can't understand that, including my father. It's just like we need to keep up on things. It's like no, that's not keeping up on things at all. It is
No.
just, but the majority still are that way, and I don't know. I do think that maybe that's what we're doing our podcasts and doing everything, trying to wake the collective up if it's possible. Maybe enough people that we can get something started. It's just like been doing these podcasts, not podcasts, but these posts on Facebook, and it's just like, why do we let these things go on in the United States? And I've had more people think, well, they can't change it. This is the way it is. Just basically bow down to it. It's like, yeah, well, they won then if you have that that mindset, it's like everything can change. And there's a lot of things right now in this country that are going on that haven't ever before, that people are just, they're not saying anything about it. It's like, why aren't we up in arms about it? But majority are just sheep. They're just doing what they're told. They're just
Sheeple.
yeah, exactly. So so I don't know. It's very interesting, and it's very refreshing to talk to somebody that I can talk to openly on this.
Yeah.
So because it's just
Yeah, that for me was really hard because I felt I was alone in this. I felt like there
mhm,
was nobody out there that was thinking like me, seeing what I was seeing. But
mhm,
later it got really bigger, bigger, bigger because your mindset and your awareness started to grow. You start to more
mhm.
people is gonna talk about it. And in
Yep,
the beginning, people are afraid. They are afraid
they are.
to share because
Yep,
you don't want to be like ridiculed or say like, "Oh,
you
you're
will
wrong,"
be.
and all of that,
Yep,
pointing the
yep,
fingers. But now you see more and more and more and more people are going to talk about it, and people are gonna find ways to talk about it, like podcasting, because
yep,
the media will
yep.
never show you. The
Oh
media will
no,
never tell
definitely
you
not.
about the leads.
Mm-mm.
So
No,
we have to do it, and that's what you
we
said.
do.
Maybe I'm a star seed. Maybe I'm here to send, to help
Yep.
people, but I'm also here to have my own journey, my soul's
Oh,
life's
definitely.
journey. I also have that as well, but I also feel the need to make a change because if not, I probably will come back again and need to do it again.
I hear you. Me too.
But it's not
I,
okay when evil has roamed for decades and they
yeah.
can still do it without no one
No, it's out in the
gives
open.
anything about it.
Yeah,
It's not okay. It's
it
time for
isn't.
them to 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 do for what they did. They've been doing this for years. They've been killing people for years. They've been
Yep.
making and creating wars for their own benefit. It needs to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all these people think like, no, there's nothing wrong with this world. Everything is like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's planted in your brain. You've been
It is.
brainwashed, and that's really sad. That when you tell people, they get angry when you
They
want to help
do.
them and change them
Yeah.
because it's the program. It's like these Asian Smiths. They come up and
Mhm.
they save the system.
Yeah.
But then again, you need to love those people because they don't know any better, and it's their
They don't.
journey as well. And if they
It
don't
is.
learn it now, they will learn it in the next life. And that's also
They
what I've
will.
learned all those over these years. My spirituality has just went crazy, and also my
Me too.
psychologist. He's also really
Uh-huh.
in a spiritual way. So he teaches me a lot about my soul purpose, about my guides, and all of that. So I'm learning a lot about that as well. So it's not just how to learn and talk to women. He also teaches me about spirituality. So it's quite a journey. But the once you do it more and more and more, you meet people like Mark or other people or to connect
Yeah.
with, and you see like,
Yep.
wow, there's more amazing people out there that want to do something for the collective good.
Yes.
But we have to do it. We
We
need to
do. Oh
take the
yes.
action first. We need to
Yep.
take the courage and do it first, so people feel the confidence to say like, okay,
Yep.
now I can speak up. Now I feel safe to
Exactly.
talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're showing them the way. We're leading.
Exactly.
And it is, and there is pushback, and I'm in a very conservative area. I mean, they think like, why are you doing a podcast? This, I'm in a farming area which is cattle and corn and very, very conservative, and people don't see anything, and a little bit it's good that way because they aren't quite so indoctrinated as maybe the coast in the United States, but it is, they still think the government is, the end all. You got to make sure you do what the government wants, and they're probably listening right now, but go for it. So, but they can go for it. I don't care. But it's just so okay. How do, in your opinion, how do we start something as a collective? I mean, what would you think would be something that would be, that maybe you and I or a whole bunch of us could do around the world that would get people to wake up, or see what we see?
Well, what I feel like that's the most important thing first. That is to heal yourself because
Yep.
we've been traumatized not only by our
Hmm.
parents or the system,
Yep.
but also by programming. So we've been put a lot through fear
Hmm.
all over these
Oh
years.
yes.
The
Yep.
pain, the suffering, the relationships that we have with people. We've been hurt a
Yep.
lot.
No.
The inner
Yes.
child has been hurt a lot. So what I feel like is important first is to hear yourself. Because I did an
Yep.
interview or a recording, and I saw a mother just screaming at her child, like, "No, you need to follow me." And I was driving
Uh-huh.
in my car, and it really hurt me. It's like, why are you screaming so much at your
Right.
child? Why are you so beating your child beating up so hard? Your child is just riding his little bike, enjoying
Right.
the world, being in his
Yep.
own head, and you're
Yeah.
just being angry because it's not listening.
Hmm.
What I saw was this lady was in pain. I saw this
Yeah.
full-grown lady, but what I saw was the inner child in her
Yep.
screaming at her child because
Yep.
she doesn't want her child to be in pain. So
Hmm.
that's what I really saw. So that's what I
Yeah.
really feel, is that people need to start healing themselves first, because if not,
Yes.
you're going to be in this loop. You're going
It'll
to numb
continuous.
yourself and you're
Yep.
going to run away. You're going to run
Yep.
away from the pain. So that's
Yep.
what I suggest, that you do that
Hmm.
first and get help, because
Yeah.
we're naive. No, I don't need help. I'm okay.
Hmm.
But you're
Hmm.
not. You
Yep.
really need to, and even though if you think you are, still you need
You do.
help. And
Yep.
it's not like help that you're crazy, but help to make you feel better. There's so many
Exactly.
ways of
Amen.
to heal yourself.
Yep.
So you don't have to do big things, but you need to search yourself. What's important for me? What do I need?
Yes.
If you're in a relationship that doesn't work, why are you still there?
Yeah.
Do something that feels good
What?
for you. I've been there
Yep.
as well. I've been in a toxic relationship for a year because I believed that
Hmm.
I couldn't find anything better, but
Yeah.
I can. But first I
Yep.
had to heal myself.
You do.
The second thing is, stop listening to these governments, to
Hmm.
these to this
Yep.
to this media. Stop listening to that and always go back to yourself. Is this right? Does this
Yep.
feel right? Because you're in a compass. Your gut feeling will tell you if something is
Intuition.
right or
Yeah.
not. But we stop, yes, your intuition, but we stop
Yep.
listening to that.
We
So
do.
do that first.
Yeah.
And don't follow it. Don't follow the crowd. Don't, if
Amen.
10 people says to go left, you go left. No, you say I'm gonna go right because I want to know what's on the other side.
Hmm.
And say no. If you don't
Yep.
want to do it, say no. And I know it's easier said than done,
Yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
it's the trauma. It's the pain
It
that
is.
you've been carrying. It's the belief or your identity that you feel that you're not
Right.
good enough. And
Right.
I struggle with that my entire life because I've been a super nice guy. I was not saying no. When people use and abuse me, I was always say like, yeah, we'll do it.
People
But
pleaser.
it's
I
not
can relate.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
okay. So I had to
It
also
isn't.
set boundaries. So you also have to learn to set boundaries and set no for everybody.
You
If you
do.
feel like something is not right, you don't want to do it, say to the person no. And if this
Exactly.
person get angry, it's like,
Too
are
bad.
you okay? Do you need help?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
fight him or
Yeah.
her. It's not gonna go
Hmm.
anywhere. Just
Yeah.
talk about it. That's something that I really learned, is to communicate. We're not
Yes.
communicating anymore. We're always going
We
into
are
this
not.
angry ego mode.
Yeah.
It's always,
No.
don't do that.
Yeah. It is, and we are communicating. You know, everybody. At least I don't know which word over there. We're always on our phones. Everybody's on their phones. You know, people go
Yeah,
out to eat, and it's like, why they go out to eat and they're all on their phones? It's like, why do you do that? It's just like
it's a
there is no
pandemic.
communication. What's that?
The telephones is a pandemic.
It is. It
It's
really is. I mean,
it's
it's just that's all everybody does anymore.
yeah.
So,
People are
and
addicted to their phone and they don't
yeah,
see the beauty of the world, even though it's evil. It can be
yep,
hard.
yep,
Still, you can hear the birds sing. You can feel the sun on your skin.
which
People don't
is
enjoy that
they
rarely
don't.
anymore, because when you see people walking with their phone, they walking their dog, or
Yep,
they have their child just looking at the phone. Like, why are you not
yep.
looking at your child? You took a child
Amen.
for a reason, because you want to
Exactly.
connect with your child.
Yeah,
No, our phone is more important than see our child laughing
yep,
towards us. It's
yeah.
so sad.
It is very
People need to
sad.
disconnect more from their phone. They really
They
need to
do.
start taking time off the screen and do what's important for them.
Yeah. No, I had this lady the other day. She said that she had a wake up call because she had like a 4-year-old, and he's like, "So when do I get to have the phone and watch TV too?" You know, and
Yeah,
it's just like, wow, from the leave it to kids, or children. They call it like it is. It is very much
yeah.
that way. So, so Vincent, public speaking? Do you do public speaking?
No, I wanted to do that. I'm planning to do that because Yeah, I really love to speak, and also I have
That's,
really good stories, and all. I
you
want to
do.
change people's lives, but I feel like the podcast is important because I just
Yep.
started. It's not monetized. It's not. I don't have a team yet that do the things for me, so I do everything by myself.
Sure.
And the other things that I do on the side. So first, I want to have like everything like monetized and operated by a team before I can do other projects. But I really
Yeah.
want to do public speaking. And it's really
You-
funny because I've been really shy my entire life, but
Okay.
now I see the power in talking with people because I always believe
Yeah.
that if I just be quiet and just comply to everything, then I can
Yep.
keep the peace. But it's
I.
the other way around because if I don't
It
tell
is.
how I feel, and if I, like you said, being a nice guy, you don't say no, you're
Yep.
gonna be in stress. You're gonna feel awful.
You will.
People gonna walk over you.
They will.
So you have to speak out, even though
Yep.
it's not okay or you don't want to do it. You have a voice for a reason.
You
And also,
do.
they want to shut that down as well. The governments,
Oh, they
they
do
don't want you
that.
to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you need to speak up, even though it's scary, even though it's difficult. We have to speak up,
You do.
especially for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was the same way. I through most of school, actually college, I got a little found my voice a little bit, but I see people that I haven't seen since I was in school, and they's like, "Wow, you really found your voice," because I didn't say anything. I was really quiet, and it's like now you can't shut me up now. So, but it's you have to. Your voice is was given to you to as a gift to share with the world, and I just think that so I'll see you on stage sometime in the near future.
I will. Yeah,
Okay.
it's really a priority for me to do that. I always feel
Okay.
like I wanted to do that, but it's something on hold for now.
Yeah, I can understand that. So how about writing books?
Yeah, also doing that. Well, I'm not doing that, but I also have something in mind.
Okay.
I wrote a novel that I want to
Really?
publish
Okay.
also in the future. Yeah, I did. I wrote a fantasy book. It's really
Oh
cool.
wow, cool.
Yeah, and well, I need to look for a ghostwriter to make
Okay.
everything because I don't want to. I look for ChatGPT, but
Uh-huh.
still, you're gonna put information that they can take from you. So I don't want
Yeah.
to
True.
have my precious book sent
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
ChatGPT and
Exactly.
somebody else can copy
Yeah.
it and promote it.
Yeah.
So I'm not
And
gonna do
they
that.
would. Yeah. In today's world, they
Exactly.
definitely would.
So
So
I'm gonna look for somebody who can look into it and change it. But I want to write a book of my life. So how my journey
nice.
was and how to the things that I did and where I am today. So people have like an idea for how to change their life because I feel like there's a lot of men and women that have
Hmm.
been really like kept themselves really small
Yep.
and really feel like okay, so I'm this introvert. I am not important, but you are important because you have
You are.
a journey or something to share with people that can change their life.
Yep.
And we always think, well, I'm not important, and what I tell people, they won't listen. I believe that too. I was in the podcast.
I
It
did
took me
too.
1 year to
Hmm.
launch my podcast because I was so afraid to share my knowledge
Me
or the
too.
knowledge is not mine, but the things that I've experienced and the things that I've been through to
Yep.
give that to people.
Yeah.
But once you do it, it's like wow, some people actually listen, and sometimes I
Yeah,
see
I hear you. Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
some
It's
people I
because
see a thumbs down, and I just in my mind I just flip it like yeah, they just watch it.
yeah.
So
No. Awesome.
it's really how you look at it. You can make
It
it a big
is.
deal out of it, or you can just say like, well, at least they looked at it. I don't have
Yeah.
many viewers, but it's just the beginning. But it's really the belief that I had with myself that I wasn't good enough or I wasn't valuable
Hmm.
enough.
Yep.
People are valuable. They have
They
valuable
are.
stories. They have valuable insights, and even though you don't feel it's important, it can be important for somebody else. So always
Exactly.
do what's important for you. If you have an idea that you've been so long in your mind and you feel
Hmm.
like your heart is telling you to do it,
Yep.
just do it and try it. And if you do it for a year and it doesn't work out, do
Yep.
something else because also what people
Yep.
don't see is people and opportunities can come to you by doing things. I see there's so many
True.
opportunities, people reaching out to me
Exactly.
like, hey, I want
Yep.
to work with you. Hey, I want to do this episode with you. Or hey, I want to
Hmm.
do this editing for you. So
Mm-hmm.
also things can come to you. So it doesn't always have to be you sending things out. People can also
True.
come to you.
Yep.
So it's you have to be open minded and also be open to it. If you close yourself off and say
Yep.
like I don't matter, then the universe will send you those things. Well, you don't matter. Okay, here I give
What you
that to
seek,
you.
you'll find. Yeah. No. Well, I
So
saw
it's
you on
really
Facebook, and that's why I wanted to do a podcast. It's like, yeah, I think you'd be a good fit for the Dreamcatcher, and you are. You're epic fit for the Dreamcatcher. So
thank you.
it just, but yeah, you do because you never know what something's going to do. And I had like imposter syndrome. You know, it's like nobody's going to want to
Oh
listen to
yeah,
anything I have to say, and I still struggle with that. I get this. Actually, the YouTube part has done really well for the podcast, and I get this thing, and it's just like, really, there's that many people interested in looking at this, and it's like, I'm getting there, but my mind still is like, really, this must be a mistake, But you just go forward, and you just got to go forward. You just got to keep on
yeah,
going. That's for sure. So
absolutely.
okay. So we're gonna change directions here. So we're gonna talk about water. We got a couple things with cold water and water that you were telling me about before we started. So what's this water that you doing in your business, or I guess it's a business? Your
Yeah, it's a company called Enegic, and what they do is they have a water machine, and you drink it from your hose, from your tap, but it provides you with perfect clean water, and
okay?
it's really to for your cells to be alive again, because the tap water that we drink is polluted and it's dead. It's
Yep.
dead water. So this machine, it helps you to help your body to be fit and healthy. And yeah, it's really amazing. I really enjoyed the water and also the benefits what it has. But there's so many companies that have like a machine,
Uh
but
huh.
Enegic is the best. It's the best what they have. So really highly recommend to check them
Very
out.
very. No, very cool. So, and then going to, because the other day when we talked about Wim Hof, which and
Yeah.
that you actually did Wim Hof with Mr. Wim Hof. So tell the audience a little bit about that. I mean, I'm still in awe what you told me the other day.
Yeah, it was quite a journey, especially in the beginning, because I remember I had a friend and he said to me like, "Hey, you need to do the Wim Hof exposure, the cold exposure with the Wim Hof."
Uh
And I was so afraid. I was like, "No,
huh.
you will never see me do that. Yeah, I will never go
uh
into an ice bath."
huh.
But something in me got intrigued. I was also
Okay.
convinced to do it, but I said like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it." I want
Mm-hmm.
to challenge myself. Even though
Yep.
I've been in my life in fear, I still want to look for ways to challenge myself.
Exactly.
So once I wanted to do it in Amsterdam, the COVID hoax hit, so it was cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do it anymore. So a couple of years later, my colleague, he told me like, "Hey, I want to do an ice bath," and then I got just intrigued again. It's like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to do it in the past, but I couldn't."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting in my at home here on this where I'm sitting now, and I felt
Okay.
like I wanted to do something again. I want to do the Wim Hof again. So I go on the internet, I look for a course, and then I saw Laura Hof, the daughter of Wim Hof, doing a course
Uh-huh.
in Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just ready, like yes, no, I'm gonna do it, yes,
I can
no, and
relate with
then
that
just
one. Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna press and
Uh-huh.
book and go. So
Uh-huh.
2 days later, I went from booking to Amsterdam, and on a Saturday, was in October, I was sitting in an ice bath, and
Mm.
the first thing was I was not nervous about the cold. I
Okay.
was nervous how I could handle myself. So how I could
Oh,
breathe if I don't panic. So that was
right,
most of
right.
my concern. But the training was really good. First we came there, we got a meet and greet and talk about it,
Okay.
and then we started to do the training, what it does with your body and the breathing.
Okay. Okay.
Then we did the breathing exercise, because that's important, because once you go into the ice, your body and your
Yeah.
breathing is going to start to hyperventilate.
Yeah.
So that's what you need to understand to be in control of that
Yes.
and be aligned with the mind and the body, the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they teach you. And once we did that, you have the breathing sessions, and that was electrifying. That was
Okay.
intense. It was
I
really,
bet.
really cool. So that's what we did. We have like 7 rounds, and then like do this
Wow.
breathing, and then she was like, "Okay, ready, guys, let's go to the ice bath," and everybody's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
Yeah, I
Nobody
bet.
was excited,
I bet
and it's
not.
like, and then she was like, "Come on, guys, let's go," and then everybody like, "Yeah, let's go, pump it up." So I was looking at the water and was like, "Okay, let's do this." So I went in and I immersed myself in the water here, and then I was
Uh-huh.
like, was just hyperventilating. I was just like, I
Right.
was panicking because I don't know what to do. My body was freezing up.
Mm-hmm.
And where we did the ice bath, in the metal was really, really cold. So you have like extra cold.
Yeah.
But Laura Huff, she was just mentoring us. She was with us. She's like,
Okay.
"Hey, breathe, breathe, keep on breathing." And then was like, and then I felt the relaxation in my body.
Okay.
I felt
Really? Okay.
relaxed.
Uh-huh.
So I did that, and then 1 year later, I was in Poland for another
Mm-hmm.
expedition
Ah,
for the training, and that was
right.
really, really cool. It was an amazing journey. I recommend everybody do it, even though you're afraid
Okay.
of the cold.
Okay.
It's an amazing journey. I
I bet
had
it is.
a really good time. I made some amazing friends,
Good to know.
and yeah, the things that we did was really, really cool. We had a jump cliff from 7 meters high in the ice cold water. We
Oh,
jumped off,
wow.
and then also that was just, I felt peace when I hit the water.
Really?
It was quiet and just complete peace. It was just
Wow.
amazing. And then we've been trained to be on the mountain. So we climbed from the hotel, was really low. And
Mm-hmm.
then we climb up the mountain, was 2 hours hike just in our shorts without any training. We've been trained just how to have your breathing under control,
Right.
but everybody did it. Most for our team, everybody did it. And I felt on top of the world. I felt like I can
Bet.
do everything.
True.
And
Yeah.
then once I got back, it's just like regular life. Fear hits me, afraid of
Yeah.
women, but just panic and just like, what's happening? I can walk up the mountain
Yeah. Yeah.
and now I'm afraid. So you can see what society and what everything is
True.
around you happening to
Yep.
you can do to you.
Yeah.
But the Wim Hof, it's amazing. It was the best experiences of my life. It really was.
So you would recommend it would you do it again?
100%. If you
Okay.
send me
Awesome.
tomorrow, I will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I
not
mean,
just about overcoming your fear. It's also taking care of yourself because the immersion in the water in the cold can
yeah.
help you
Yeah.
to reduce the stress, the inflammations in
Okay.
your body that you have. Also relax yourself with your breathing. So it's plus 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 win win
Yeah.
win win for you. So it's not always about overcoming your fears, but also the benefits what you have when you do the
True.
things that you're afraid of, but also the benefits that it can have for your body, your mind,
Very,
and
very
your
true.
health.
Awesome. That is so awesome. I'm glad you shared that the other day because I've never known anybody that's done with all that, especially climbing up the mountains and only your shorts. What was the
it
temperature?
it was
Was
minus
it
two.
okay? It's pretty cold.
It
It
was
was,
really cold.
uh
They told me when we had the backpack on,
huh.
sometimes your backpack have these stripes, the dangling and your
Sure.
backpack. So we had to
Right.
knot them up and strap them to our backpack because if the wind is strapping, they can hit your body, they can cut you open, and you don't
Oh
feel it.
wow.
So it's that cold.
Oh, that's bad. Okay.
So once I
Wow.
got back in my room, I saw all these cuts in my body, and I didn't feel it because of the cold. It just
Wow.
snapped in your body. So,
Amazing.
but the thing is, he told us like once you go up the mountain, just tell yourself, "Oh, it's warm. I feel the sun shining," and that's what I told myself. Relax myself, focus on
Mm-hmm.
my breathing, and once I've
Mm-hmm.
got cold, like I'm just walking on the beach and I feel really warm, and I felt warm. I really felt
Uh-huh.
warm. I felt my
Awesome.
body warming up.
Uh-huh.
So you can also trick yourself to
You
make your
can.
body do things that you don't want to do. But
I love that
I was
too.
really amazed how powerful you can be, and especially
Yeah.
with
Your
the
mind is
power
very
of
powerful.
nature, how
Yep.
you can train
Yes. Yes.
yourself.
You can. So what's next after that? I mean, what's something like that you haven't done that you still is there something still you want to do like that is in that area?
I've been thinking about it, but I think that's the most awesome thing that you can do,
Well,
the
that's
Wim
pretty
Hof
good. I was
method.
gonna say
Yeah.
that is so awesome. Very good.
The
So
thing that I still want to do is like do skydiving. I really want to do some skydiving,
okay,
bungee jumping. I'm really in
okay.
extreme sports. I also did snowboarding, so I really like those things.
So,
But I
so
also
ha-
want to do. There's a, I think in Turkey, you can bury yourself to here in sand, and they say it's an extreme, amazing experience. So that's something
yeah, I
that I
was gonna
want to
say
do
I
in the
can see
future as
that.
well.
No, that sounds really cool. And you snowboarded. You did pretty good then. You stayed upright.
I did, yeah. In the beginning, it was hard,
Okay,
but
I've
once
heard
I did it
that.
more and more, I just the freedom. It's amazing. That's why I want to be free, because I want to do the things
Yep.
that I enjoy to do and not
Amen.
work to make somebody else rich. That's not why we
Yeah,
are here. That's not
we are
That's why
not.
we're not
Yeah.
born to make other people rich. You are here to enjoy your life, to make yourself rich, and help other
Yes.
people to do the same.
Amen.
So
I love that.
uh,
So, Vincent,
it's a journey.
it is a journey. So, I love that. We could end there, but is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we end the podcast today?
Well, I like to ask you a question,
Okay,
if
sure.
that's okay.
That'd be awesome.
What was for you the reason that you want to start the podcast? Because also I know we're on the same page, but what was it for you that you really wanted to feel like I really want to do this podcast because
This goes back to when my wife's had cancer numerous times, and the last time was very everywhere. But it was just we started doing the some days, we started doing the things because she had the intense chemo, and we started doing it sort of the some days as much as she could do. And it's just like, why weren't we doing these along the way? Because we were really stressed for money then, and she was, not feeling well, but we were doing it. So why didn't we do them when we were healthy, And then I got to looking, and almost nobody does what they really want to do. Everybody wants to put it to retirement, do it to someday when they have money, when they have time. And it's just like today's the only thing you're promised. It's like, I'll do it next year. It's like, well, if you're here still. And it's just like, so, and everybody has dreams. That's why I pretty much always ask the dreams when you were growing up, because most people have forgotten them. They had those
Mhm.
dreams when they were still as childlike, and when they were going to take on the world. And the majority have forgotten those. And it's just like, why don't you do those? And it's usually comes time and money, or there's someday when they retire. And it's just like, retiring is not cheap. And it's just like, you need to do it today. That's why with this podcast and every day, Cheryl and I celebrate. My wife, Cheryl, we celebrate every day because every day's a gift. It is because I thought I was going to lose her, and because the cancer was everywhere except for her lungs, and she beat it. She's tough, and that's not the first time she's beat cancer, but this one was the worst. And it's just like, you got to do your dreams today. And I tell everybody, it's like, if you were given a dream, you have the wherewithal to do that dream. It probably won't be easy, but you do. You become the person that can do that dream by everything it takes to get to that dream. And I just like, well, Sunday Fun Day, which is a trigger for me. It's just like every day can be fun day. And I did a post this morning on Facebook. It's like, maybe we should forget the day. It's like, don't think it's Monday, or, how would your life be different if you didn't know what the day was, like Monday or Friday or Sunday? It's just like, maybe live that you were on the wake up call, list for today. And this, like today was a beautiful sunrise. And it's just like, you need to go celebrate it. And that's the thing you need to do, because they said, grind and no days off. It's like the no days off need to be every day for that, for celebrating. Yeah, there's work, but you got to do. And I think when you get in flow, it doesn't seem like work. Like this does not seem like work. I'm getting to talk to an awesome guy, and it's just not work. People ask me how much I work. It's like nothing I do really seems like work. It doesn't, because I love it. But it's just like, you got to catch your dreams today, and even if just a starting is the hardest. And once I think it becomes addictive. But talking about traveling, um, I hope someday I get to come over to the Netherlands and talk to you in person. But it's just like that's been Cheryl, my wife and I's dream, and it's just like we've started doing it, and it's not cheap, but you find a way. We found a way to pay for the cancer treatments, and it's just you find a way to do your dreams. And one thing, you never regret it. If you're getting your dreams there, and then the ripple, because I'm big into ripple of doing your dreams. For one thing, you're showing people that it's possible. It's like if he's doing it, I can do it. And that's the long answer, but it's just that's what got me to. It's just like most people are not living their dreams. They're not living. They're just existing, and a lot of people are existing or living their nightmares. Some people are definitely living their nightmares, and it's just like it does not have to be that way. Yeah, that's one thing Cheryl and I both said. The cancer gave clarity. It gives clarity on what's important and what's not important. Very, very, very much. So that's what got the podcast. I've had coaches, and the coach that I had, that Crystal was her name, and she had a podcast, and she said about 3 years, a little over 3 years ago, she's like, I think you should do a podcast, which I had never thought about doing a podcast up to that point. And I'm glad she suggested it because I love it. I mean, I look forward to doing these. And so yeah, that's why I started this. I just want to help people realize that they can catch their dreams, that it is possible. If I can do it, Central Nebraska, we still have a lot of debt from the cancer treatment stuff, and you just do it. It becomes a non-negotiable. You have to do it. You have to travel. You have to do whatever your dream is. Like yesterday, yeah, I think yesterday, Cheryl and I went for we do picnics a lot, and we went for our first breakfast picnic the other day. Because it was actually kind of nice now, and it's just like everybody's like, "Wow!" It's like, it's just like they act like that was a big deal. It's like, well, I guess it is a big deal if you've never done something like that, but it's just something we like. What do you like to do? And just make sure you start doing it. So Vincent's like, wow, I wish I hadn't asked that question. So, but no, I just want people to have their best life. I just do. You talked about helping people. I want to help people realize that they don't have to work to make somebody else rich or wealthy and get to their retirement, not have enough money. I talk to so many people in the United States now. Their retirement plan is to work until they die. That's terrible.
Exactly.
It's just like no, that is not a retirement plan. And there's so many other opportunities which is good with the phone and like what we're doing here, to make money, that people don't see that too. There's still go to college, get a job for 40 years and then retire. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm going to leave it right there. So,
Perfect.
but no, you have any other questions for me? I go for questions too. So
Well, I'm gonna invite you on my podcast so I can ask you the
thank you.
questions.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate that. I look forward to that. So, well, Vincent, I will end the podcast there. Thank you for being the guest on Dreamcatcher, and I look forward to being on your podcast. And
Absolutely.
we'll end there. And I think you're like 7 hours ahead of us, so you're in the evening, aren't you?
Yeah, it's 9:20 p.m.
9:20. So I don't know what time you go to bed, but you're probably maybe thinking about you probably night owl.
Yeah, I'm in an hour or so. I'm gonna go to bed.
I don't blame you. That's about me too. So, but anyway, I'll let you get ready for that. So, thank you for joining
Thank
me.
you.
Have a great weekend, and I look forward to being on your podcast. And take care. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mark, for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being a guest.